Joining us now, the aforementioned and already introduced Anson Weiner, but now we formally introduce him again in Studio B, former BYU basketball player and BYU Hoops analyst. Anson, nice to have you back.
Thanks for having me, guys.
When do you not wear a sweater?
To bed. Other than that, you'll
Much.
catch me in a sweater.
It's always sweater weather.
You were always wearing a sweater your freshman year, too.
That's true. When I was hanging out on the bench, yeah. That's true. Me and Brandon.
You're a sweater guy, man. You're our Mr. Rogers, bro.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Jaren's our fashion consultant today. He was
obviously not.
Picking different things off of my shirt earlier in the show. So
hairs, yeah.
Anson looks
your
pretty.
Hair's falling out. I'm sorry.
To nobody's surprise. Okay, Anson, now that you've had some time to sleep on it, we hung out and did the post-game show on BYUtv last night. What's your lasting impression from BYU's final game of the season now that you've been able to digest it a little bit more?
It was sporadic, up and down a little bit, as we could see, but it was a team that finally figured it out towards the end of the year. They went on a streak, and I know we talked about this numerous times, that you kind of catch your tempo at the end of the year and you go on a run and you can get to that postseason tournament and have some success, and they did that. The Final Four of the NIT is a great accomplishment.
We dug into more of a point that you made yesterday, which was, they dug themselves too big a hole. So we discovered that in 9 of the 11 losses this year, that BYU was down double digits in the game. It says something about the team to be able to fight back in those games. It also says something about the team that they were down there in the first place. So how do you think the coaching staff might address this going into next season?
It's definitely the preparation to start games. You look at, like you said, there's so many games where BYU started down and have spent most of their time climbing back, and then by the time they climb back into it, it's so far into the game that you've pretty much exhausted a lot of your energy. So I'd love to see BYU get off to better starts next year and see how those outcomes play out.
How does BYU get off to better starts, in your opinion?
Starts on the defensive end. If you can get your defense going and get some easy baskets around the rim to start, I think that kind of contributes to, that pace throughout the course of a game of being up, or not even being up, just staying consistent and hanging with the team.
Anson, you've watched this team both from the bench and as a player on the court, and now in your first year as an analyst with us here on BYUtv, and it's always difficult to say goodbye to a season. So for those 3 seniors that are having played their final game and aren't going to be able to put on the uniform again, what kind of emotions are they going through right now?
It's bittersweet. I know that's a generic answer, but it really is, because you're excited for the next phase of life in basketball, because I think all 3 of these guys can play again on another level of some sort. But it's the fact that, I won't play in a BYU jersey again, that's kind of saddening. I think when I walked off the floor that last time, my senior year, it didn't dawn on me that I won't play for BYU again. That didn't dawn on me for a while. And it just kind of, I think over the summer, it kind of hit me, I don't have another game coming in the fall. That was it. That was my last game in March. So you're excited for the opportunities that these guys will have in the future, but the fact that you won't play again is, it's something you have to kind of deal with.
One of the 3 seniors, Nate Austin, spoke with Dave McCann in Madison Square Garden following the loss last night. And Anson, I'm interested to hear your take on his emotions and what he has to say. So let's listen to that interview with Dave McCann and Nate Austin right now.
All right, it's finally over. What are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, tough loss, tough way to go out. But I was happy that we battled back as a team. That our team made it a game, and it's kind of been the story all year. We get down, we battle back, and we make it a game at the end. And I was proud of the group of guys that we in that locker room. We always battling, always fighting back, and always making it a game.
What was the mood there in the locker room afterwards as this team got together for the last time?
I think guys were kind of shocked a little bit. That's over. It's great run. Great season. It really started in June and July when our team started preparing for Spain, and it's been a long season. And so guys are tired, but our team would love to play at least one more, but it's kind of shocked and kind of sad that it's over.
Been a lot of players in BYU history, a lot of them. No one's played in more games than you. Are you tired?
Of course I'm tired. We're always tired, but I've loved my time here. I love the chance I've had to represent BYU. as a kid, I grew up a huge BYU fan, and so these last 4 or 5 years, I've lived my dream, and I've loved every second of it.
For the rest of your life, you'll be an alum and a former player.
That's weird to think, man. I'm not that old. I feel like old people are alum, but I guess not. I'm an alum almost now.
Are you saying I'm old?
I'm not saying that, but older people.
All right. Nate, thank you.
Thank you.
Nate Austin with Dave McCann at Madison Square Garden. And, obviously emotional.
I lived my dream.
Talk about a guy that is BYU through and through.
Oh, my gosh.
Anson.
Like no other. I mean.
Yeah, what kind of a person, for those who don't know Nate well, Anson, what kind of a teammate and person was he?
I mean, Nate's not just a BYU basketball player. He's the biggest football fan that you'll run into, volleyball fan that you'll run into, baseball fan. He's just BYU through and through. I think that's a guy that, he literally bleeds blue on every aspect. And he's just a great teammate. He never cared about his personal stats. He always cared about winning at the end of the day. And that's what you want out of a teammate and a friend.
I think he's the consummate everyman. Because people don't relate to Kyle Collinsworth. They're not 6'6", 220,
12
unbelievable.
triple-doubles.
You know what I mean? People don't relate to Chase Fisher making hundreds of three-pointers for BYU. They relate to a guy like Nate Austin, although his physical ability is unique. He's 6'11", 7 foot. He wasn't on scholarship this year. He came back, still wanted to be on the team as a walk-on. He could have said, you know what, I'm done, I'm good. He came back. He didn't even start most of the season as a senior. So talk about taking, a piece of humble pie, but yet he wanted to be on this team and contribute. And like Dave said, no one in BYU history has played more games than Nate Austin. He also has a foul record, which we highlighted. So he's in the books forever. But yeah, I've enjoyed Nate Austin because he's always been candid. He's always been fun. Another one of those lone peak guys from that pipeline.
One of the greatest offensive rebounders in BYU basketball history
Second
as well.
to Kyle Collinsworth, by the way, in BYU basketball history.
So we've talked about the legacy of Nate Austin a little bit. Now for a guy that you were roommates with and are roommates with again now, that's Chase Fisher. What legacy does he leave at BYU after playing for 2 years?
One of the great shooters. One of the great shooters at BYUSN, and I know there's been so many, but he ranks at one of the top because he did it in such a short fashion. Having scored 1,000 points or over 1,000 points in 2 years, that's an incredible feat. And it just shows the work ethic that he has and the skill set that he brought to this team.
He was just a three-point shooter last year, I think. I think that this year he became a scorer. He became a scorer.
Oh, he became multifaceted.
He led BYU in scoring, yeah. And I've just noticed that I have 18 hairs sticking way up in the back of my head.
Well.
So you had hairs on your shirt, and now I have hairs sticking up. I need to get a haircut. I'm getting one this afternoon before the Y Awards.
Focus, Jerem. Okay, we're good now.
I can't focus when I look that weird. Jeez. No one said this to me until this moment. We're showing B-roll, giving me a chance to fix it on TV.
Kyle Collinsworth, Chase Fisher's teammate. 12 triple-doubles. Pick your topic when you want to talk about what Kyle Collinsworth leaves behind at BYU. But, Anson, what will you remember most about Collinsworth?
The versatility, by far. Will BYU get another guy as versatile as Kyle Collinsworth? We'll wait to see. But you're losing a chunk from just one player. That's points, that's rebounds, that's assists, that's steals. He's at the top of the list in almost every category. And that'll hurt to try and find a guy to fill that spot. It may take a couple guys to just contribute in his numbers. But, just a great career, great guy, a winner. You look at the amount of games that he's won and the success that he's had. It shows us the type of person that he is and the type of player he is. He just knows how to win. We
met Kyle Collinsworth, I think, 10 years ago when we started doing Provo high school games on a little station in Provo called iProvo. He was 5'9", and he didn't play on the varsity team his freshman year.
He was 14 years old.
Yeah. His freshman year, he won a state title with Brandon Davies and Adam Law, who now plays minor league for the Dodgers. It's been a long time with him. It's been unbelievable to watch his development as a role player starter on the Jimmer Fredette senior season. You were teammates, Anson. You were redshirting that year when he was a freshman. You were both freshmen, I guess, together. Yeah. Then after his mission, he tears his ACL in the WCC championship game. And then the next 2 years, he's arguably the best player in the West Coast Conference the next 2 years. This year, formally granted the West Coast Conference Player of the Year, but all-time leading rebounder, all-time leading assist man, 12 triple-doubles, 6 more than anyone else in NCAA history. That is unbelievable. I am hesitant to quickly, put aside what he did and look at next year's team and go, they're going to be better. I think that they will be, but I'm hesitant to go there because, like you said, you lose an amazing point guard. Who, yes, he couldn't shoot, but he was great at everything else.
West Coast Conference Player of the Year, all-time leading rebounder and assister at BYU, 12 triple-doubles. I mean, talking about a guy that will be in the BYU record books probably forever, at least to some degree. He's kind of like, in terms of statistics, kind of like Jim McMahon. He's just hit a bunch of numbers in that BYU record book. Not in the NCAA.
Well, he has one that's crazy
That'll
in the
stand
NCAA.
for
NCAA.
a long period of time.
All-time leading rebounder and assist. I'd love to know. I don't know who's going to take the time to look this up. No one's going to do it. What school has an all-time leading rebounder and assist man is the same guy? Who has that? Who has that? That's crazy.
Kyle Collinsworth has it. Anson, now as we start to turn the page, and we're trying to put a bow on this season, and it was really enjoyable, what do you expect from BYU basketball moving forward now that the Lone Peak 3 and Peyton Dastrup is coming on from his mission as well? So you'll have Eric Mika, Nick Emery,
Yoli Childs,
TJ Haas, Yoli Childs, the Deseret News Player of the Year in the state of Utah, and ESPN Top 50 guy. I mean, the talent, it would seem on paper, is as high as it's ever been at BYU. So what are your expectations?
I don't think they'll disappoint as far as expectations go, especially the Lone Peak guys. We got a glimpse of what Mika could do, Eric Mika could do. We saw what Nick did this past year. And it'll be interesting to see how TJ plays, but I expect them all to have really great careers. And I anticipate the bigs for BYU to contribute a lot more this coming year. It was pretty sporadic this year with the bigs we had with Jamal and Kyle Davis and Nate and Corbin. They had their glimpses where they've had, success and had great games, but it wasn't as consistent as you would have liked. And I would love to have seen that go along with the great guard play that we've seen from BYU this year with Chase and Kyle and Nick and Zach. But I fully expect a full team and a well-balanced offense next year.
Just make sure you have a nice welcome home sign for Chase, okay?
See, I can't because it won't be enough for him. It's never enough. If I have 3 balloons kind of waiting for him, he's going to be mad that there's not 4. Yeah. Or if there's music playing, he's going to be mad there's not like a band there waiting for him to play, to walk into the house. It's never enough. So I just don't do anything. I may not even be there when he gets back just because. I may have a sign that says clean your room or something.
A little sticky note or something.
Clean the kitchen while you're back,
That's
welcome home. Do some work.
You don't have practice.
Welcome home, Chase. You have time to do your homework and clean your room. And it's always great to talk to you. Thanks for hanging out with us for the past couple of days.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.